Guys, welcome back to the channel. Doing another movie review. We just did a movie commentary for Night of the Living Dead 1968, and we're going to go ahead and do a movie review for that. Just give you guys my personal opinion about the film, and joining me actually is my little friend, my cat, Church. And yes, he is actually named after the cat from Pet Sematary, one of my favorite horror films of all time. But we're going to be talking about Night of the Living Dead, directed by George A. Romero, God rest his soul. The guy was a fucking pro. He was a master at what he did. He was a master class act, and I heard he was nothing but one of the greatest, nicest guys. He would always take recommendations, always listening to people's ideas in his films. Even when on set, if someone had an idea, you could just walk up to him and say, "Hey George, what do you think about this? What do you think if I died like this or my character did something like this?" And most of the time, he would say, "Yeah, let's give it that a shot," because he wants you to explore your own character. But that's just enough about George A. Romero, the classic, the genius. We are going to dive into Night of the Living Dead, and this movie starts out with a brother and a sister driving off to go give a set of bouquet or flowers to their deceased father, or who they didn't even know him or nothing. They just want to stop by and give him the proper due he deserves. Since that's where the mom sent them. The mom is actually back in the home state while they are going off and doing this. And while they're doing this, world pandemic breaks out and zombies start coming and happening. And this movie is so iconic. It's actually it's the start of the zombie craze, really, because Dawn of the Dead actually struck us into that phase. We all started freaking out and we were like, oh yeah, zombies, the zombies that. But it was Night of the Living Dead that really got it kicking. Right, it's the thing that got the first hit of that shock therapy, that electricity, and it started kicking its legs, and then Dawn of the Dead was like it lifts itself up. So, and we get the scene with Barbara and Johnny. And Johnny, he fights this old man off. Barbara right now, Johnny's teasing her and stuff, saying, they're coming to get you, Barbara, because she's scared of the graveyard they're standing in. And all of a sudden, this old gentleman is in the background. And, it's creepy when you see him walking in the background because you really don't understand or know whether or not these guys are actually zombies or just normal people walking around. But then when you see the fucking guys start attacking her, and then Johnny runs over there and grabs it, and that music and that suspenseful anxiety of just you would never like someone grabbing you like that, just be out in the middle of nowhere and some stranger is trying to take a bite out of you. So that whole scene and scenario was actually well built up and very, very well played. And Johnny he gets killed. He tries to grab him, and then they tussle around and stuff. They start wrestling, not really fighting, and then Johnny gets pushed over and his head hits one of the tombstones and breaks his neck. So that's how Johnny goes. And then so Barbara runs over to their car and gets into the car, locks the doors and everything, and the zombie starts breaking the window, and he takes a fucking brick and smashes the window. And at that point, she just kind of pulls oh fuck, what's it called? But she pulls a little lever, and then the car starts moving. And I'm sorry, I forgot. I feel stupid, but I forgot what she pulled. She pulls it, and then the car starts going by itself. And then in the background, you actually, in the background, you see the old man kind of following the car down this hill when it's just rolling, right? And it hits a tree eventually, and then she has to get out and just kind of run. And I really appreciate the small things like George A. Romero. He decided to make it look, he decided to show the old man actually following the car. Like he's very desperate to get to her and stuff. So I always appreciate that because it does add atmosphere, it does add character, it does add the suspense, the intensity of the situation, and it makes you feel like you're actually there watching this woman being chased, and you wish you could help, but you just can't. So she runs and finds this house, and this is where you meet. First off, she gets in the house and everything. She sees a dead body and whatnot. The old man is making his way towards the house and everything, and then the best character shows up. And when he shows up, it's Ben. Okay, Ben, yeah, Ben shows up, and it's sad that we actually just watched this literally 2 days ago, and I almost forgot the name. Ben shows up, and he's the best character in the movie. He's trying to get her to calm down and stuff, and she can be a real bitch at some points. I understand she's traumatized and stuff, but then she starts hallucinating, and this is one of probably the biggest aggravation I have of the movie, is that Barbara is in the movie until the last 15 minutes of the movie, or 7 minutes of the movie. She doesn't really do anything. She's just kind of sitting on the couch and acting afraid of everybody and just staring like she's traumatized and stuff. And she never helps until the last 7 minutes of the movie, and by then you just don't care about her. You wish she had more character, a lot of more depth, but there's really nothing there. She's just a traumatized girl sitting on the couch the entire time. That's basically it. Everybody else is doing everything. So that's her arc. So he, enforces the house and everything. He's getting wood, putting it up against the windows, doors, and stuff. Breaks apart tables and whatnot. Anything he can use to barricade the walls and doors, and any sort of entrance way before nighttime hits. And after a while, things are they're talking and whatnot. You don't really care about the back and forth and stuff. Some of the things that he says are interesting, but she kind of just repeats everything she already went through that everybody already saw. So it's kind of pointless for her to tell us what we already knew. But then she starts freaking out and stuff, saying, "We need to go get Johnny. We have to go out there and help him. And he kind of says bluntly, he's dead. We're not going to go out there and risk our lives." And she smacks him in the face, and he decks her. I'm sure she didn't see that coming, but in a scenario like that where there is a life and death situation, and you really want to just break down that door, so 5 minutes later you can just run back over and try to get in and lead more of those things over here. No. You can take it. You can take a nap, right? And he just decks her in the face and gets it over with because she's losing it at that point. She's not mentally there. She's wanting to get out there and go help her brother, who she knows is probably dead. She ran away from him for a reason. She knew he kicked the bucket, so he just didn't want to risk anything. So he knocks her out after she smacked him, and then probably about 5-6 minutes later, you are introduced to the other characters down in the basement. Mainly more the big one down there is actually Mr. Cooper. The other guys are okay. I like him a lot. Mr. Cooper is the opposite of Ben. He wants to stay in the basement and lock the door and everything, and keep everybody down there because it's safe. Ben he thinks it's a death trap. He's not for it. He's like, if we go down there and they decide to break all these doors down, what are we going to go if they decide to break down the basement door too? Because if numbers build up, and they decide to go at that basement door and break it down, we're kind of all fucked. We have no way to get out. So at least up here you have a fighting chance. But Mr. Cooper, he doesn't see that. All he sees is no, the basement's the safest place. Everybody needs to get down there, and he's just a big old chicken shit, right? That's basically what he is. Not as bad as in the remake, but he's still chicken shit here. So after all that happens, Ben says, well, forget it. You can be the boss down there. I'm the boss up here. Get the fuck down there. Leave us alone. And, and I can see a lot of this and it's kind of real because I could actually see a lot of this stuff happening with actual people. So it's kind of relatable. I wouldn't really know where I'd want to be if this situation ever broke out. It's an interesting concept to bring up. So after that, the kid and his girlfriend decide to help barricade the walls and windows and everything because they feel like it's best. They agree with Ben. They think it's best that we all stay up here and barricade the place if need be, and we have at least ways to get out if anything, if we all goes downhill. So they all stay upstairs and they start nailing the window shut. Every once in a while you see a hand come through the window and they'll try to break down the reinforced windows. No one really dies, not for a while at least. But then you have the idea, well, I have a truck, so why not hit up that gas pump over by the barn, and we fill it up with gas and go to one of these safe houses the TV states there are. So that is the next plan of action. They make cocktail Molotovs. They fucking go over there, get in the truck. The girlfriend, the boyfriend, I'm sorry, I forgot their names. Ben, they all get in the truck and they drive over to the barn to get gas into the truck. Unfortunately, they're all jittery and scared and everything because now the zombies are walking over to them from the house, and they make the slip up. Ben puts the torch down on the ground to help the kid get the pump going, and the kid accidentally turns too fast and sprays some gas all over the torch, and the torch lights the truck on fire. So the kid and the girlfriend get in the truck and drive forward a little bit. They should have got out and ran, but they didn't. So the truck blows up with both of them in it, and the zombies eat them alive. Ben makes it back over to the house, not before he goes over to the front porch, starts yelling, Mr. Cooper, let me in, because Mr. Cooper had to stay behind to kind of throw the cocktail Molotovs. Best job ever. He had to throw the cocktail Molotovs so they had the opportunity to get in the truck and drive over. Now we got a serious problem because now there is a lot of tension between Mr. Cooper and Ben because Mr. Cooper would have almost let him die. It's weird that he was going to let him die, but the second Ben gets in and shuts the door and puts a door in front of the door so he can nail it on there, that's when Mr. Cooper comes over and holds the door so he can nail it. So I don't know why he couldn't have just opened the door to begin with and they wouldn't have had that frustration. Probably would have not led to events that are going to be happening in the little bit future, but that's how it goes because Ben's the man with the gun and Cooper wants that gun. So there's already tension right there. He wants the gun because he thinks Ben's going to get everybody killed. And since Ben's idea was to go and fill up the truck anyway and got those kids killed, he's not really wanting to take any more chances with Ben. Ben is like, oh, dude, you got these guys killed because of your idiocy, so we need to fix that. So now there's tension between Cooper and Ben. You know, Ben knocks the fuck out of him after he helps him with the door because, you know, he deserves to get he deserved to get a punch in the face. Not like 6. You know, Ben like decked him repeatedly. He was not giving up on teaching Mr. Cooper a lesson. But he deserved a deck in the face for that. That was a dick move. Fuck sakes, man. He almost got a guy killed. Now there's a real good amount of tension. The girl's still sitting on the couch. Yeah, the girl, Barbara is still sitting on the couch. Hasn't done a fucking thing. But she's about to do something here in a few minutes. So, now the zombies are building up. They're everywhere, and they want more meat. They had a taste of the kids, and now they want... And I call them kids. They're probably like in their 20s. They had a taste of the 20-year-old folks outside. Now they want more meat, and now they're going to start attacking the house. So they start breaking down the windows, the doors, and everything. But this is Mr. Cooper's perfect opportunity to strike, right? He strikes now. So he picks up the gun after Ben has to hold the door and the zombies are breaking in. And he needs help. He can't hold them all off by himself. You know, even the fucking Mr. Cooper's wife, who should be down in the basement with her fucking sick kid, is now up against a window trying to help, you know, reinforce this thing so they don't get in. Mr. Cooper, for the fuck's sakes of me, you know, Ben drops the gun, and he picks up the gun and starts telling everybody to get down in the basement, and points the gun directly at Ben. Well, now the windows are getting broken. The wife is getting almost dragged out of the fucking house, and finally, Barbara decides, now's the time to take action. So she runs over there and starts pushing up and helping out the wife, because she is about to get fucking eaten and mauled, right? So Barbara runs over there, and this is unfortunately, well, this is where Barbara ends, because she is holding the fort down and is struggling to keep it open. But before that, Ben fights the gun away from Mr. Cooper and shoots Mr. Cooper right in the gut. Just, fuck it, dude. You're not trustworthy. Fuck you. Bam. Gut shot. So Mr. Cooper falls down the basement stairs. You know, he's like, oh, fuck. He's getting drowsy and everything, and then he eventually falls over and dies. Okay, back to Barbara, though. She runs over, and she fucking puts herself up against the window and everything. The wife gets away, runs down to the basement to make sure her daughter's okay. Coming down to the basement, she sees that her sick daughter, yes, they had a daughter the whole fucking time. She was down in the basement sick, but it's not really something they kind of tackled or anything. It was just that kind of thing they would bring up every once in a while, like, why is she sick? What happened to her? But she's in the basement, and she got bit. She got bit and became a zombie and is now eating Mr. Cooper's body because he, you know, is down in the basement and he's dead. So she sees that and, you know, traumatized, you know, she doesn't know how to react to this, and the daughter picks up a garden shovel and starts stabbing the wife to death, the mom to death. And it's unfortunate because I actually did like the mom character. I thought she was pretty cool. She knew what she was talking about. She wanted to be more a part of the group upstairs and everything, but Mr. Cooper was kind of being that abusive husband type, too chicken shit to do anything, so, you know, he'd rather smack his wife than let her go upstairs and listen to the news, like that kind of shit. So after that, Barbara gets taken outside by her own brother, Johnny. Johnny comes back as a zombie, grabs Barbara, pulls her through the entranceway, and all the zombies start eating her. You don't really get to see it, you just hear her screaming and she's yelling, help me and stuff. That's basically it. So at that point, Ben goes down to the basement. He kills the wife, kills Mr. Cooper, and kills the daughter because they all start coming back and trying to eat him and stuff. So he kills all three of them, and then he locks himself in the basement. And all the zombies have broken into the house. They're banging on the door and everything, and they're trying to get to the basement. It's ironic that the one thing that he was complaining about the most actually was the one thing that worked. If they had just went to the basement the entire time, they would have made it till morning. It's ironic and it's irony, but the film pretty much ends with Ben coming out of the basement to see a group of rednecks, police, country people, townspeople going around and shooting these things down. They're just, grab a gun, go shoot them, let's get rid of them, burn them in giant pits of fire. So they come to the house and they see Ben. Ben doesn't say nothing, which was a big mistake, and one of the guys shoots him and he gets killed at the end. So he didn't say nothing, and he made it through the night, but he still got killed by a human, ironically. So that was Night of the Living Dead, the 1968 version. It holds up quite well. I think, yeah, the acting here and there is pretty bad. The effects are, you know, pretty decent for what the time was. You know, you can't really hold anything accountable for this movie. This movie is it's rich. I have seen this movie so many fucking times. I could probably say over 20 times now, and every time I watch it, I just enjoy it just as much as the last. I really think it's one of those movies that it's an instant classic. It's so fucking good. George A. Romero did a phenomenal job, and it, you know, inspired him to make even more zombie movies down the road. And we will get to those movies, but right now I am grading Night of the Living Dead 1968, his first fucking zombie movie, which I love to death. I think it's fantastic. I'm going to give Night of the Living Dead an A-. It didn't make an A+ because, of course, there are some things I have a problem with this movie. I think Barbara was a little bit of a waste of a character. I think she could have been great, but she was kind of a waste. Some character decisions were stupid. Stuff like that. After Barbara, really nitpicky stuff, but it's just an enjoyable time. And yeah, even though it's black and white, I still highly recommend you guys check it out. So guys, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. What did you guys think of Night of the Living Dead 1968, the original George A. Romero classic? Did you guys like it as much as me? Did you guys not like it as much as me? And as always, guys, you know, like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and as always, you know, take care of yourselves, and I'll check you guys out in the next video. Do take care. Alright, let me end this video.